Hi, I'm Lance Hendricks, and you're watching Brian Lomax's Movie Talk.
Hello there and welcome to another Christmas movie review as I do my 31 days of December, or 31 days of Christmas, whatever you want to call it. Today I'm going to be reviewing Four Christmases, which is directed by Seth Gordon and stars Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. But before I get into that, I'm joined by another special guest. This time it's Lee from Drum Dums, and he's here to talk about one of his favourite Christmas movies. Over to you, Lee.
So what's up, guys? December is fast approaching. My good friend Brian Lomax is putting together a compilation video of a bunch of fellow YouTubers, and we're all talking about Christmas movies that we either really like or that we think sort of make a statement. You know, just some favorites, whatever. But I decided, hey, I'm going to throw a little bit of horror into the mix, and what better to talk about than Silent Night, Deadly Night, because to me, this is probably the most controversial horror movie of the 80s. Silent Night, Deadly Night is about this kid named Billy. At the beginning of the movie, he's on a road trip with his parents, and just this horrible tragedy happens. This guy dressed up like Santa Claus actually kills his parents, and even worse, rapes his mother right there in front of him. And what's really cool about Silent Night, Deadly Night, as opposed to other slasher films, is that this one gives you the story of the killer throughout, whereas most slasher films, they focus on the prey. This one actually focuses on the killer, starting from his childhood all the way up until his killing spree. And that's a nice new angle on this. But honestly, I really enjoy this movie. It's got a lot going for it. One of my favorite scenes is the very creative deer antler kill, where you have Linnea Quigley from Return of the Living Dead, and then the Barry Sims character from Halloween 6. But the kill for Linnea Quigley's character was, again, very creative. And this is just one of the many scenes that the MPAA forced them to cut out. So if you get the movie, make sure you get this version that is uncut. And there's also some comedic moments to kind of put you at ease. One example is when Billy chops the head off the snowman near the end of the film. That was kind of funny. And then after the antler kill, there's this little girl there that is being babysat, and Billy comes up and says, "Have you been naughty or nice?" And then hands her the utility knife.
You haven't done anything naughty.
No, Santa Claus.
And that's kind of a comedic yet really creepy scene. But in the end, overall, I would definitely give Silent Night, Deadly Night a purchase worthy. I actually enjoy the hell out of this one every time I watch it, and I watch it every December. And also, I'd like to thank Brian Lomax for including me in his Christmas special.
Okay, thank you, Lee, for that rather different choice, shall we say. A bit of out-of-the-box thinking there. Four Christmases. That's the film I'm reviewing today. Some people may think of this film as a horror, but actually I don't mind it. Now, I remember when this came out, I kind of went to see it not out of a desire to, but because there just simply wasn't anything else on. I think I worked at the cinema. I may have been checking a print actually at the time. I know there was a bizarre reason why I ended up seeing this, but I wasn't looking forward to it because all the reviews I read were like 1 star, 2 stars. And this isn't a classic by any stretch of the imagination, but I certainly don't think it deserved the 1 and 2 star reviews. It's actually quite entertaining and mercifully short. They seriously edited this thing really tightly. It's like 76 minutes or something like that. You know, it's not even 80 minutes long, which in my book is often quite a good thing. I do like a tightly edited movie, you know, sometimes to their detriment, but in this case not so much. I think it's quite well paced, does the job, gets in, gets out, excellent, let's all go home, thank you very much. But yeah, I like it. You know, it's basically about this couple that don't want to get married, they don't want that kind of level of commitment, they don't see the point in it because they're happy, but then they go and visit their 4 different families. Obviously, both of their parents have been divorced, which means they kind of have, you know, 2 sets of families each to go and see. So they have to go and see them over the holidays. They wouldn't, but due to some kind of accidental mishap, they end up having to go and see them all. And the humour ensues out of that. Now, I do that in quotation marks because to many people, I guess this just isn't funny. But I actually think there's quite a few laughs to be had and a little bit of drama too, which I enjoy. I think one of the funniest elements about this film is Jon Favreau. Now, Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn obviously have quite a history with each other. They've done several films with each other, Swingers being the most notable one, of course. But they have a good rapport. They have a good relationship with each other. And that always comes through on screen, even in bad movies. But yeah, he's a lot different in this film. Jon Favreau is just like not how I'm used to seeing him. He's a proper kind of hick. Hick is just exactly how I'd describe him. But he has some funny moments torturing his brother, played by Vince Vaughn, in this film. If you like that kind of thing, that episodic kind of road movie in which people visit their families and, you know, mishaps ensue, then you might like this one. You know, like I say, it's not going to set your world on fire. It's nice seeing the tallest leading man in Hollywood with one of the shortest leading ladies in Hollywood. It's quite amusing at times. But yeah, they both pull in charming performances despite their characters' flaws. These aren't really two people that you should like, I don't think, on paper. They're not the most family orientated of people. So yeah, they're not really that likable, as I say, on page. But the two actors do kind of bring a likability to them. There's a scene in a church. They visit Reese Witherspoon's character's mum, and she's become like a devout Christian since they last met or whatever, and they visit this church, and it does take a few pot shots at kind of your Southern American Bible Belt type of community, but it does it with a little knowing, kind of loving charm as well. It's a reasonably charming film that passes by pretty quickly, so if you're not enjoying it, it will be over quite soon. You're not in for too much torture. But yeah, like I said, I enjoy it. It's quite, you know, it moves along quite nicely. I give it a 3 out of 5. I'm looking back at the films I've given 3 out of 5. I'm trying to think, does this compare? Yeah, go on. I'd say yes. I like it. It's 3 out of 5, but it's not spectacular. So if you've seen 4 Christmases, please comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And until tomorrow, where I will be reviewing another Christmas movie, thanks for watching.